All right, guys, welcome to today's episode. I have Courtney with CoreFit here. So excited to have you on the podcast finally.
Yes, I am excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's start with Courtney. Take us back to the beginning. What inspired you to become a trainer and also start your online virtual fitness community?
Yes. Okay. So I like to take it all the way back to who I was in high school because I think a lot of times when you think of fitness, you think of athletes, you think of somebody who's always been really comfortable in a fitness world, and that's not who I am. And I think that really helps people feel more connected to me, especially if they're like trying to begin their journey or maybe they haven't approached the fitness world in like 10 years or since before they had kids. And I personally in high school was extremely self-conscious, very shy, and literally was the one that like I enjoyed the physical part of gym class, but I like wanted to run away from it because I hated being in front of people, fearing like I was gonna like mess up or like I am not coordinated at all with sports. And so like all of that stuff, just like to bring it back there and just let you know that like I have not always been confident in fitness. I have not always been confident in wellness. And this is something that I had to build from the bottom up too. Back then I always had an interest in helping others and an interest in the fitness world, but I had no idea what that was going to mean for me. As I went into college, I kind of like felt around with like going into the health field. Didn't want to be in that area specifically. And then I found exercise science, which was very new at the time. When I graduated with that degree, it was like up and coming, like nobody knew of it. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. So fast forward like a year later, I started managing the local gym in our town and taught in-person classes that I absolutely loved. Loved teaching so much. I really started to find a passion for coaching and like helping others in the sense of exercise and building confidence and finding positivity and wellness. And I did that for, I think it was 2.5 years. And then my entire world turned upside down. A huge part of my story is in July of 2019, my little sister was killed instantly in a car accident due to no fault of her own. And it literally had my entire world came crashing down. And then 3 days later, I found out I was pregnant with our third daughter. And at that point, I honestly walked away from everything. Like I quit teaching fitness classes. I walked away from fitness myself. I was literally just trying to survive in that season. I was pregnant. I had two kids at home. Due to my sister's accident and how it occurred, we were in a massive legal battle that proceeded to go on for 2.5 years afterwards. And so I kind of lost myself for a while and walked away from everything, which I think actually gave me a stronger foundation coming forward. Allowed me, like I had to go to ground zero. I had to hit rock bottom and I had to sit there for a little bit. And I always like to coach my clients that it's okay if you're down there, but you need to decide that it's not okay to stay there. And that's when I started to fight back. It was about, this is also the time, if you want to lay it out, when COVID hit. So my job was actually truly shut down. I live in Minnesota, so we were mandated. I was not allowed to teach in person when I was ready to go back. So once that mandate was lifted, I tried to go back and I taught in person for 3 days before the second mandate hit, and it shut me down again. And I, at that point, was ready to fight. I had sat in rock bottom long enough that I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I came home and I was truly fired up. Like I came home, I was so mad. And my husband was like, what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I decided, I was like, one of my friends said, well, what if you just coached it through Zoom? Like, can we just join you? Like my clients, like, can you just join you through Zoom and try to get through this little season? And I'm like, okay, yep, I'll try to figure that out. Because technology and we have come a long ways, but it's not my favorite part of my job. And so in January of 2021, I launched CoreFit virtually. And at the time, I taught at the local gym. They allowed me to use their little like studio room, and I just made everything work. Like I literally had like my camera was my computer camera, my mic was my computer mic. Like I look back at the footage and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Um, and then I always like I fell in love with it, like how I could reach out to more people. I was in control of my business. Like the state couldn't control me anymore. And in that season, that was really important.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was able to grow the community, grow my confidence. And in March of 2022, we ended up actually remodeling our garage and bringing Corfit home so that I could be home in the mornings when my husband had to go to work. Otherwise, we were like pulling in in-laws, like my mother-in-law at 5 in the morning to watch kids. And that's just beyond grandma duty, in my opinion. So Andrew was able to go to work. I taught from the garage, was home if the kids needed me. And then fast forward to today, we've been home now for about a little over 3 years out of the garage. And I actually, as this airs, will be getting close to making this transition. We actually purchased a home that is going to house an actual Corvette studio. And
Yay.
I am like beyond excited to actually have a garage again because our garage is literally the studio.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm very excited to have some space again and to actually just give a designated spot for a studio and just allow Corfit to continue to grow. So definitely have
Yeah.
come a long ways in the last 4.5 years.
Yes, that is amazing. That's so much fun to have your own designated space because, yeah, the garage is right now, but also your kids walk through there all the time. Your husband walks through there all the time, right? Like it is kind of like public space when it comes to your family. And when you have, like, I have my own office in my home and my family doesn't get to come in here and touch things. And if the door is closed, they don't get to come in. And like, there's like strict boundaries here within my office of the home. And it changes things for sure.
I am so honestly excited for that. Like right now, I literally have to set up my studio space either every single night before I go to bed or in the morning because I have bikes on top of it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
my husband will like throw his chore clothes over there or like I don't even know, the strollers on top of it or like it's just like the garage exploded during the day or my kids tromped over it with their muddy boots or
Oh,
whatever it
yeah.
is because it's like literally right in our walking path. And so I am like so excited for that and to have like a space to just like run my business and it'll be really exciting. So I'm excited for that game changer.
That'll be so nice. And also, I'll say kudos to you because I would have never thought that was your garage when I look at your videos online.
Yeah, I know I laugh all the time because people, my garage doors open and people walk by and they're like doing a double take because you have like the big studio lights and then
Oh, yeah.
there's like my logo's on the back wall. And so everybody's like, what is in there?
Yeah. You're like, yes, I am a superstar. I'm your neighbor and I'm a superstar.
Like my car is parked like literally like 2 feet off of the screen. Like,
Funny.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have something else exciting released today, right?
Yes, today.
Yeah. Yes. So
Yeah.
lots of new things coming for you.
Yeah, it has definitely been a wild 6 months. We're moving into a new home and taking Corfit to the next level and all things that like I honestly wasn't expecting to happen right now and it's all coming together. So I'm very excited
Yeah.
to see what the next few months bring.
So fun. We'll talk about more about that in a little bit. Let's talk about, so you did talk about how you initially would have been very intimidated probably of a program like that you've created because you didn't come from somebody who was athletic when you were younger. Also, I'm in the same boat. I always make the joke was I was the girl that got detention for not participating in PE. I hated it so much. And I was like you, I was very shy and introverted, and I did not want people to see me. And I also didn't really like to be told what to do with my body, which I haven't really changed with that either.
Yeah.
And so I would have to stay after school and make up time because I refused to. One day it was I refused to play kickball. And that yeah, I'm still not coordinated, like doing any sort of
No.
sports. Like I play pickleball and I'm always the worst person in playing pickleball and or any other sport that requires any sort of coordination. Like I can lift weights and I can walk straight and that's it.
I have had to like the agility that we do in class, I have had to like strongly train myself off screen to get good at that. And like my husband is like a three-sport athlete. He's very athletic
Oh,
and I
yeah.
am not at all. And so he always laughs because he like when we started having kids, he'd always tease me. He's like, I surely hope they get their coordination from their dad, not their mom. Like
Yeah.
and he would just tease me all the time. And one of the funniest things I heard, like as I started coaching fitness, is apparently I appear to look like a volleyball player. Like
Oh,
for
yeah.
people that don't
Mhm.
know me outside of like that didn't know me in my past. And so people always just like assumed I was a volleyball player. And I'm like, I don't understand how I look like one, but and
Yeah.
so I was like, no, you don't want to give me a ball, like honestly. And if you do, like duck and cover because it can go right, left, sideways, backwards. It doesn't know.
Yes.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Same. So for somebody looking to, they want to start strength training and they just don't have any experience and they feel very intimidated, what would you tell someone who's at that like the initial stage of like, I want to do this, I'm interested, but I just can't get myself to do it because I'm intimidated or I'm self-conscious about actually doing it?
yes. Okay. So, like I've said, been there. And I sat there for a really long time, so I can totally relate on my own level how that feels. One of my biggest pieces of advice is just allow yourself to be a beginner. Who said you have to be advanced? Who said you need to be the expert? Nobody. That's all drummed up in your own mind. And a lot of times we get caught up on needing to be perfect before we can begin. But ultimately, if that's your mindset, you'll never begin because
Right.
you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be ready. You're never going to feel fully confident because confidence comes through taking action. And for me personally, when I started fitness, I definitely grew up in the area of pounding payment. How many calories can you burn? Like all the high intense cardio that you can possibly do. And that is the best way for your body. And so I was like extremely scared of picking up weights. When I was like back in college going through my exercise science degree, I would just run and run and run and run and run. And walking over to the weight section like scared the living
Mhm.
daylights out of me because I didn't know where to start. I just felt really intimidated by the people that were over there. And honestly, a lot of them are some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. And they're just there to support you. And we just allow our own minds to play tricks that they're intimidating us. And
Mhm.
in reality, like for me, if I was in a gym and working out, like I would celebrate you being next to me if you were a beginner. I would help you if you wanted me to help you. Majority of people are the same way.
Mhm.
So let's see.
Yeah, I remember the first time well, not the first time, but when I used to start going to the gym, I would go out of my way to not walk through the people who were lifting weights because I was so scared of them. And
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I don't know why I was scared of them, but I was also afraid of doing something wrong in that area and having somebody be mad at me, which is the story of my life. But that I was just going to be like in the way or do things wrong or like it wasn't somewhere where I should be. And so I would walk around that area to go to the stupid elliptical to go do my 30 minutes of cardio and then quick run
Yep.
home.
Yep. Like flashing back to like when I met my husband, we'd go to the gym and he would hit the weights and I would go straight to the treadmill and he's like, "Are you ever gonna come over here?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Maybe." And then finally one day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna be a beginner. So it's always what I tell people. It's like allow yourself to be a beginner. Allow yourself to step beyond your comfort zone because your comfort zone's beautiful, okay? But nothing grows there. And so therefore, allow yourself to just start working on the foundation. Start at the bottom. Let it be basic. Let it be simple. Let it be a little bit like just very clean cut and basic in the beginning. If you um are really wanting like guidance, following a program is also something that I highly, highly recommend. Like for me, I love coaching through the Core Fit program because I guide you step by step of the way that takes all of your guesswork out. It takes all of your planning out. You just show up and I tell you exactly what we're going to do. I coach you through it. And there is always value in that as well. And just honestly, it's just got to get over that anticipation and take action.
Yeah. And for people that are like, I don't know what to do, you're actually not supposed to know what to do. Nobody has taught you that. And so seeking out somebody who can just explain things or put it on video is incredibly helpful. And you get used to it like so quickly once you start putting it into action. But
Yeah.
waiting to like have it all figured out before you go, well, it just won't happen that way.
Never. No, because we're not designed to know everything. Like that's why we have experts in every field. Like
Yeah.
you're there to outsource and you're there to have people teach you what they are experts at so that you can learn from them.
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of women will want to achieve by lifting weights is confidence. What is something that you notice with lifting weights and confidence and building confidence for women?
One of the biggest things that I coach in my program and with my clients is that everything begins in your mind. Your body is fully capable. Your body can do, quite honestly, way, way, way more than you give it credit to. Like your mind is the thing that holds you back. Your mind is the one that tells you that you're not confident, that you don't have value here. You're the one that you don't have a space in this gym or that you can't pick up that heavier weight. And so therefore, to build confidence and get stronger through strength training and your just overall fitness program, or maybe even just your fitness routine, I think it's really, really important that you need to train your mind.
Yeah.
And your mind is the thing that is going to help your body go where you actually want to take it.
Mhm.
Because your body has showed up for you every single day, your entire life. And so now it is time to train your mind to serve you in a way that you want to feel. And so confidence comes from training your mind so that you can train your body.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that people aren't necessarily expecting when they go to start lifting weights is that the biggest thing and the best thing that changes is their mindset about themselves and personal growth and just like tapping into that side of your life. Yes, your body responds and that's amazing too because you get that part that you wanted. But the best part is what changes in your mindset from lifting weights.
Absolutely. And I think that's
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest things I hear from my clients is how much their mindset improves or how much their self-esteem improves and just like things that you can't necessarily measure. And that all comes through weight training. And honestly, I always tell my clients like if you can teach yourself how to train for fitness, then basically you're training for life because you
Yeah.
can apply all of those same principles to everything else that you need to do in your life. And it just helps you build that stronger foundation all around.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about metabolism. That's always a hot word or a hot topic, and then especially for women coming to your community. Most people know that when you build muscle, you build metabolism. So my guess is that you have a lot of people coming in that are like, "Hey, I want to build my metabolism." Let's talk about first, what are some of the myths that you see women believing when it comes to their metabolism?
One is that you need to do high intensity and max out all of the time. I personally have started implementing, it's been just over a year now, about quarterly. So about 4 times a year, we do a deload week.
Hmm.
And the first time I did that, I got so much pushback because my clients all thought that they were gonna like lose progress because we did a week of deload. And I'm like, okay, but I'm your coach. Can you trust me? Like, let's trust me for a second here. And then once we walked through deload week, the response and like everybody how they felt afterwards, they were like, oh my gosh, I never knew I needed that. And we have just been grown in a world of like I said earlier, more intense. The more you sweat, the better. The more calories you burn, the better. You better work out on an empty stomach because then you're going to burn fat better. And that's also another really big myth. Like, I will never tell you it's okay to work out on an empty stomach. I'm always going to tell you you need to come in fueled, and I'm always going to tell you you need to walk out fueled. Because if you want to build muscle, you want to get stronger, then you need to fuel your body. You can't just run the bottom of the barrel all of the time, or you will eventually burn out. So that was one of the biggest ones. I'm teaching my clientele, like everybody thinks they need to be like amped up on caffeine to have a great workout. That's another myth in my opinion. I do not think that you need to be amped up on caffeine. I think you just need to adequately fuel your body to get a really good workout. And then another one that I hear often is like my metabolism is just slow. It just doesn't
Hmm.
work. It's not, it's broken. I've heard that like
Hmm.
multiple times. It's broken. And I'm like, well, I don't really believe that it's broken. I just think that we need to learn how to work with your body instead of trying to continue to fight it.
Right.
So, what if we came at it from a different approach than you've ever done before? A lot of them, that includes strength training
Yeah.
because a lot of them have never worked up anything higher than a 10-pound dumbbell. And I'm like, okay, but majority of you have children. And I'm like, how heavy is your toddler?
Yeah.
No, I have a tank. Like he's like 35 pounds. And I was like, okay, but you can only lift 10?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, let's keep like building and creating like safety in your body so that and that comes through strength training, that comes from deload weeks, that comes from fueling after your workout so your body is not meeting stress with stress. And so that's another big one. I also hear like my age. I'm just in menopause, or like I know you deal with all of the time. My age is the reason I cannot lose weight. And I
Mhm.
always like say like your age doesn't necessarily destroy your metabolism by any means. It's just learning how to adapt, adjust, and like meet yourself where you're at and find the new things that work alongside with your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another myth that I often work through with my clients is needing to like detox their body or go through a reset. And I've seen that happen like a majority of like a variety of ways, I guess I could say, where like they go on like a 24-hour fast or they go on like a 3-day fast. And then all of a sudden they're snapping me that they're finishing a workout. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. And I'm like, how are you doing this right now without any fuel in your body? And for me personally, I used to believe in resets. I used to believe in detoxes because we always believed in the 1200 calorie diet, starve yourself to lose
Mhm.
weight, myths. And now I always I coach people through like your body needs consistency. It needs to feel
Mhm.
safe. It doesn't need a detox. So,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely some myths that I like to kind of touch on around metabolism, touch around like strength training and allowing yourself to dial it back, go slow in terms of like lifting weights and fitness. I always coach my clients like when you're lifting weights, you need to slow down. Like if you need to count your reps as like a 1, 2, 3, and then like a squat, for example, 2 counts down. 2 counts out. We need to slow down so your body has time to connect. One of the biggest things I see when a client starts with me a lot of times is that they're going way too fast. And I'm like, okay, but when did your muscles fire up in that
Right. Yeah.
time? Yeah. So that is one thing that I really love to coach on is just slow down, be intentional, connect with yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's when you think about it, like it's time under tension that actually
Mhm,
makes that muscle grow. So
mhm,
you're not getting a result faster or better by lifting it quicker. You're actually impeding your ability to create that muscle. And
yep.
also, I notice that like if I'm starting to lift really quick, it's because I'm just generally uncomfortable and I want to be done.
Mhm,
And that's just, you know, my body fighting me and being like, I'm just not interested in this today. I want to be done. I want to check out. Like, let's not do this. And
yep.
so I know that that's just my body trying to escape the pain and like the discomfort of lifting heavy things and putting them down and doing that. And so sometimes if I just can like calm my like have a moment to take a deep breath and like ground myself and be like, you're fine. You don't need to escape right now. You don't need to rush through this. Lift the weights. Everything is okay. And like talk to myself calmly, like I'm actually a toddler freaking out because that's usually what's happening.
It is, honestly. And sometimes I do. Like I talk to my clients, I'm like, what would you expect of your child in this situation? How would you parent them through this? Because honestly, a lot of the times that's the same pep talk you need to give back to yourself. And like if you're not going to allow your child to walk out of class, you're not going to allow your child to walk out of practice because it feels hard today, well, then we need to honor that back into your own training program and know that not every day you show up is going to feel easy. Not every
Mhm.
single day are you going to feel confident and rock the house in every workout. And that's okay because we're human and things ebb and flow all of the time. And just learning how to meet that resistance and like kind of walk through it. Like you have to learn how to walk through that resistance instead of starting to like skirt around it or run away from it or just like pretend it's not there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So when you're coaching online, do you feel like is the like what's the best thing about training online or having an online virtual fitness community?
So, in a community aspect, I love all of the people that I have gotten to meet online that I never would have gotten to meet teaching in person. Because in person, you have a great community, really have good support, but you don't get to like meet people beyond your specific area. If you live in a small town, you're just structured into those same people all the time. And being in a virtual community, it's endless. Like you can be working out with somebody from completely across the country and
Hmm.
have this really great friendship develop that would have never happened had you not stepped into a virtual community. A lot of times, those are your biggest supporters. Those are the people that are
Hmm.
there for you and they're gonna pick you up on the bad days. They're gonna be the ones that you feel the most comfortable like shooting a message to, like, I don't want to do this right now. Like, give me a pep talk. Loved seeing that grow inside of the community and just watching like the friendships blossom. Like some of my best friends are because of the Core Fit program. And I think one of them lives in the same town as me. And
Hmm.
we talk every single day. And so I love having that and just sharing the passion together. Because sometimes I feel like when you are working out in person or trying to put that together, if your specific gym or space that you have available to you doesn't have a program that interests you or works in your schedule, it can be really challenging to commit yourself to a group program if it's something you're fighting yourself to go to. I also love that you can access it from anywhere, that you
Hmm.
can do it from your home, especially like I work with a lot of rural women. I live in a very small town. We do have a gym in town. Obviously, I managed it, but a lot of these women are living 20, 30 minutes from the closest gym. Well, who wants to spend an extra hour on the road to go to a fitness class that you're going to be committed to for 45 minutes? It eats up so much of your day. And so, therefore, like sometimes it turns into the reason why you're not committed because you honestly don't have a 3 hour window to commit or a 2 hour window to commit to getting to that class on time, arranging childcare. It just turns into one of those biggest barriers of where you're like, I don't want to drive that far. And so creating that community for people to be able to show up. I have a lot of moms whose like husbands have to be gone in the mornings and they want to work out. Well, they're not going to take their kids to like a child care center at 5 in the morning so that they can go to the gym, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not waking my kids up at 5 in the morning. Like, that sounds terrible. So, knowing that they can just go out to their living room and do their workout where they're at and their kids are in their bed, maybe they join them. I have some moms
Mhm.
that snap me every morning and their kids are with them. They have super
Yeah.
early risers. I have ones that'll do it during nap time. I have people that'll work out with their kids. Everybody's a little bit different, but it's just allowing it to adapt to wherever you are and having that flexibility, that adaptability is huge. Like all of my workouts, I teach them live, but then I also offer the recording. So therefore, like if your schedule doesn't line up for you to be able to join me at 5 in the morning, or maybe you're just straight up not a morning person, like you think I'm insane because I get up that early, then you can go and work out at 7 p.m. if you want to. Like if that's your thing, it's great. Then that adapts into your schedule.
Yeah, that's awesome. And today is the big day that you're launching your app, which goes along with your virtual fitness community program, all of that. So tell us a little bit about your app and how this came about.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, like today, as we're recording this, it's been live for like 2 hours, and I am like, it feels so incredibly like surreal. When I took the leap and launched CrossFit just over 4.5 years ago, I started it in a Facebook community, and it served its purpose and definitely gave me a space to grow to where I am today. But I knew it wasn't going to be forever. And I was like, I have been on the lookout for an app to put the community in that I wanted to build. And I honestly have been looking for this specific platform. I probably looked for almost 2 years before I found the one that I wanted. Like I always relate it to like teaching my clients have patience in the process and everything will unfold and make sure that you build your foundation first. Well, I kind of applied the exact same thing into building my app. And it was finally like 6 months ago. I have done like 1,000 Google searches trying to figure out what app I wanted to go with. I have sat through so many demo trials and I was like, every single one of them was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like how this connects. Like, this is not the community I want. And so I was starting to get really frustrated because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to find what I want for this community? And then randomly I did a search again and this platform like popped up and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I've been looking for so long. And I started building it. So I built this program from the ground up. Like this is all me and I have never been so uncomfortable in my entire life. When I tell people like it's okay to be a beginner, it's okay to be uncomfortable, I'm like, I fully relate. Like I
Yeah.
get it and it applies to all areas of your life. So I started building it and was able to completely move my entire program inside of it. So in a Facebook community, I always struggled with having a lot of like connection with my clientele because they just, whenever you post in there, like everything gets buried, everything gets
Yeah.
lost. And so I wasn't as like connected to my clients as I really, really wanted to be. And so that was a huge priority inside of my new app was that
Mhm.
I was going to be able to reach out to clients all the time. It was going to be easy to find me. All of my resources are like literally right on the homepage. Like you're on there, my entire wellness team. I have like form and technique breakdown videos, which I was not able to do in the Facebook page. So like people can go and be like, I want to learn how to do a deadlift. They click on the
Mhm.
video. It's like 5 minutes long, and I walk you through all the steps. There's nutrition coaching in there. There's mindset coaching. There's ways to track your like body metrics, upload your progress photos, one-on-one messaging with me, community support, access to all of my on-demand workouts, all of my stretching videos, all of my mobility videos, literally like everything, all of my challenges that I will run throughout the year inside of the app. Everything is right there. Like all you have to do is open it and everything's in one spot. And I am just ecstatic to have it all together.
That's amazing. It's so nice to have like a place to like put all of your hard work.
Mhm.
When it's scattered all over, also you don't get to like recognize how much you have created. Because all of that is coming from your brain, which is beautiful. And now you get to like it's almost like building a house, right? Like
Mhm.
you're like, well, I have all of these things to build a house, but they're kind of all over the place. And you put them together, and then you have this big, beautiful house. And now other people get to see it and they get to like enjoy being in the container because it feels clear and grounded and they know where to find things. And it just will make, I am so excited for you because it'll make for such a like a wonderful experience for everybody in there too to have that.
Yes, and it has been so fun so far. So my clients have been in it for about 10 days now, and all of them are like, this is amazing. Like, we love
Yeah.
it. I've had such good feedback. They're like, it's so easy to find like the on-demand workouts. It's so easy to like shoot you a message really quick. Like, I don't have to go over to your Facebook Messenger. And so just all of the things, just fine-tuning and putting it into one space has been like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of it. And it looks amazing on the inside.
Oh, fun. So when you do a live workout, do they join from the app? That question just came to my mind. Like, how does that work?
Yes. Yep. So I created just a specific little forum page where the link is posted daily. So
Oh,
they can
sure.
just
Okay.
click on that, and then you can access it. Like you can mirror it up to your TV, or you can mirror it to your laptop. Kind of that's what I always recommend to people. I'm like, don't try to watch
Mhm.
me on like your little phone. Let's like get a
I know.
bigger screen.
Yeah.
Because then it's not so like you're not squinting at the screen trying to figure out what I'm
Yeah.
doing. And so then you just click that, and then after the workout is completed, then I upload it into my on-demand videos, and they're there for the next like 7 days for you to. I
Okay.
usually give everybody about 7 days to complete a workout before I replace it with the new one.
Oh, sure. Cool. Very nice. So there is a lot of noise in the fitness industry, right? Like you go on Instagram and
Mhm.
you're just, I mean, even people listening to this podcast episode, you're going to now be fed fitness trends and fitness programs and whatnot out there telling you what you're doing wrong and how you should do it better and how you should be doing it different. How do you help your clients drown out that noise and that overwhelm?
I really talk to them about like learning how to communicate with your own body and what feels good. Your program that you're completing shouldn't fight you. Like it can feel hard at times, and I like tell my clients it's okay for it to feel hard sometimes, but it should also feel like you're moving forward in it, that it's attainable, and it's something that you can stick with longevity. I have a very, very strong sense of like we need to approach it from positivity. We need to come from a place of like self-love. We need to have self-respect. And that like brings in confidence as well. And that we need to focus on everything that fitness, everything that wellness is adding into your life. So a lot of times you see the mindset around wellness, around fitness, that it's negative, that is a form of punishment, that you need to go and work off that donut you ate or that like Big Mac and fries you just chowed down. And it just turns into like this negative mindset. So then you're trying to come in to a workout and you don't want to be there because you're like, well, who wants
Mhm.
to be punished? Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be punished. And so I just like to remind them like we need to find a way for you to show up out of self-love, self-respect, and to learn how to ebb and flow through your seasons of life as well. Because
Mhm.
a lot of my clientele were going through a wide variety of seasons of life, whether it's like true seasons, summer, fall, spring, winter, all of that, where your fitness routine, your workout routine, it's going to look different. How you show up in December is not going to be the same way that you show up in July because we're doing totally different things, especially if you live in the Midwest. We're stuck inside in December. And in July, a lot of times we're outside and we're busy and our schedules are chaotic. And so it's learning how to understand that consistency is not linear either. And you don't have to beat your head against the wall with consistency in terms of like, I have to complete 40-minute, 5-minute workouts every single day, 5 days, 6, 7 days a week in order to be
Mhm.
successful. And if I miss one day, I screwed it all up and I might as well just quit. I think I'm like, no, 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 no. Like if you miss a day, it's okay. Just wake up tomorrow and
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. And like if you find yourself sticking to one answer for everything, right? It must be all or it's nothing, or it must be this way or don't do it at all. If you find yourself that you're very polarizing in any of your actions or trying to find your grounding on like what should I be doing or what is consistency and things like that, it's always the wrong answer. Like the answer you actually want is in the middle and it's usually undefined. And that feels very scary for people and very ungrounding. And like I'm always inviting clients to like let it feel a little uncomfortable because that's actually where you want to be. It's you finding your own grounding and not looking for the external answers all the time because external answers aren't created for you. They're just created for some sort of structure for somebody to give somebody. And it's okay to like let some of those things go.
Absolutely. I very, very much so agree. Another thing we always talk about like is discipline isn't negative. And I like to relate discipline back to like your childhood. You were disciplined
Mhm.
for doing something wrong. You were disciplined for saying a bad word. You were
Mhm.
disciplined for not following the rules. And so therefore, I think we tend to as adults associate discipline with negativity. And so when I tell you you need to be disciplined in showing up for yourself, it can come across as a sign of punishment or a form of punishment. And in reality, that's not real
Mhm.
because discipline can be one of the most like self-worthy, self-respect. Like it is leveling up and choosing to honor what you need to do right now to get to go where you want to go.
Yeah.
And if you don't choose to be disciplined in the moment, then ultimately you're just going to pay for it later.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, discipline isn't bad, but also some people think like discipline is whatever somebody else tells me is
Yeah.
discipline. So if it's like let's just say your program, for example, is you have 5 workouts a week that are 40 minutes. And all of a sudden they're like, well, that's discipline. I must do all of that in order to be disciplined. And it's actually sitting down and asking yourself, what do you want to actually be doing in an ideal week because it fits for you and not because somebody else is doing it or Instagram said that or you got an email saying this? Like, what do you actually want? Because like personally, I don't work out 5 days a week and I don't really want to anymore. I mean, I move my body 5 days, 7 days a week, but I don't lift weights anymore 5 days a week. It just doesn't like my body just doesn't recover that way. And I like had a really tough time with it at first because I was like, but this is wrong. I'm going to go backwards and I'm going to lose muscle. And actually the opposite has happened. Now my body is capable of building muscle because I give it the time that it needs to recover. And I'm just a human being that needs more time to recover, and that's okay. And it took a while for me to like be okay with that and that I wasn't going to be the person that did XYZ. And so discipline my example of discipline looks different than what somebody else's plan of discipline looks like. And like creating that for yourself is so freeing. And then holding yourself to that discipline versus what somebody else tells you that discipline is.
Correct. And I think that a lot of times, like self-discipline is really intimidating and it's scary because it makes
Mhm.
you tune into who you actually are and
Yeah.
what serves you, what works for you. And I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, just because I coach 5 days a week does not mean that the only way you're going to succeed is if you show up 5 days a week,
Mhm.
especially if you a beginner. And like I said, I want you to be a beginner, but then
Mhm.
we maybe look at the on-demand program that is 15 to 20-minute workouts and we lay
Mhm.
out, okay, discipline for me is working out on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or discipline for me is coming to the strength classes of the live workouts, and I'm there on Tuesdays and I'm on there on Thursdays, and I'm building my foundation so my body feels supported when I add in another day. Yeah, like self-discipline, it looks different for everybody, and it took me a really long time personally to get comfortable with that too, because it takes some trial and error to also figure it out.
Mhm.
People just want to do this, and you're going to see success. And I'm like, well, that's the hardest part about your fitness journey is there is no cut dry answer. And
Yeah.
it's literally having to learn who you are as a person and what serves your body in order to feel
Yeah.
good and see results.
Yeah, absolutely. That was beautiful. Okay, this was such a good conversation. Let's end it with if you could leave every woman listening today with an empowering message about her body, what would it be?
Okay. If I wanted to leave you with one message, it would be that your body is not a problem you need to fix. It is your home. It has carried you through so much already. It deserves your care, not your criticism. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need to earn confidence. You don't need to earn nourishment. You are worthy of every one of those things right now, just who you are as a person. And strength training, strength from strength training isn't about looking a certain way. It's about showing up, allowing your body to take up space. You deserve to be in that space and living a life that feels full and allows you to feel alive too. Your body was never meant to shrink. It was never meant to fit in. It was made to move. It was made to grow. It was made to thrive. And you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Allow yourself to learn, to ebb and flow through life and learn what wellness looks like for you so that you can finally begin to feel free in who you want to be.
That is so beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
Tell everyone where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, CoreFit with Courtney, and then I'm also have a business page on Facebook, which is also CoreFit with Courtney. My website is corefitwithcourtney.com, and all of my information on my app launch is on there. You can find all of the details of my program, the links to purchase, as well as the nutrition program that walks alongside with my fitness program.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you for having me.